Hi folks, it's Jocelyn. Welcome back to my channel. This is the second video going up for Latinx-A-THON 2020. And today, all of our hosts are going to be giving our recommendations for our readathon. So if you don't know what Latinx-A-THON is and you haven't heard about it this year, I encourage you to first and foremost go check out that announcement video. But every year we also find it very important to give you recommendations and to update those recommendations of what Latinx books you can read that would work for our readathon. So since this is the third year, that means that there's 2 other years of recommendations, and we have a full playlist for you. Please also check that out. That will be in the cards as well as linked in the description. But I have some of those books here, so I wanted to give you a little taste of some of the things I've talked about before. This wasn't one that I actually recommended, but our very first group read would obviously work for our readathon. And this is Itza by Rios de la Luz. I've also talked about The Hour of the Star by Clarice Lispector, my favorite, Don't Date Rosa Santos by Nina Moreno, The Invention of Moral by Adolfo Bioy Casares, The Love Sugar Magic Trilogy by Ana Mediano, of which the first book is A Dash of Trouble, Certain Dark Things by one of my favorite authors, Silvia Moreno Garcia, Yoruba from Cuba by Nicolas Guillen, When the Moon Was Ours by Anna Marie Miclemore, Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson, which I do have a spoiler-free review for, Nocturna by Maya Motain, and Ye by Guilhem Petreca. So let's actually get on to the ones that I wanted to talk about in this video. Let's first discuss Juliet Takes a Breath by Gabi Rivera. This is a YA book that absolutely blew me away when I read it about 3 years ago. I'm a little sad that I don't talk about it more on my channel, and when I was going through books that I've read for this recommendations list, this one skyrocketed to the top because it's lived so well with me. This one works for our Latinidad prompt because Gabi Rivera and Juliet are both queer Puerto Ricans. Juliet is from the Bronx, and she's spending the summer in Portland, Oregon, learning from one of her favorite authors who changed her life. Along the way, Juliet learns so much about gender and sexuality and feminism and how she belongs in these different spaces. And this is really just such a timeless book because there are always going to be teens figuring out those things for the first time, and even adults. This is a book that I think pairs really well with Felix Ever After by Case and Callender, which I read earlier this year. Both of them operate on a sort of 101 level when it comes to gender and sexuality especially. Juliet is learning about all these things in a very organic way and questioning people around her, especially this white mentor whose feminism looks very different from Juliet's own experience. So if you are specifically looking for something for the Latinidad prompt and you want to read about a very, very cute lesbian character, Juliet is who I would recommend. Then specifically for our voices prompt, I picked out When My Brother Was an Aztec by Natalie Diaz. Natalie Diaz comes from a Mexican and Mojave family, and she is a poet, and this is, I believe, her very first collection. This is a lot of Diaz exploring that Native identity and especially living on a reservation. But these aren't first-person poems so much. It's not her talking about herself. Instead, it's her really exploring all of these different relationships and experiences that Native people can have, and especially the way that being a Native Latinx person looks different for everyone. So there are some times that she specifically points out if someone is Mojave, but there are other experiences as well, and I think this does a really good job at critiquing a lot of things, which is my favorite kind of poetry, as I've mentioned before. I just really thought this was a great collection. I think there's a lot to chew on, and I definitely need to read it a second time, I think, to fully appreciate it. But there's another collection that she just came out with very recently called Post-Colonial Love Poem, which I'm definitely looking to pick up. But there's this backlisted option as well if you're interested in it. And then I want to talk about Adriana in All My Dreams by Renée Depeste. Depeste was a Haitian activist, poet, and author, and Adriana in All My Dreams is a zombie novel, mostly. It is hyper-sexualized, very sensual, and definitely does not conform to the white Western ideal of what a zombie story is, and instead talks about the way it is really rooted in Haitian history. There are a lot of things happening in this book, and it's a modern classic. So because of that, definitely some of this went over my head. I think if you're considering this book, I would highly suggest reading this article I'm going to link down below from the translator, because this was just translated I think in the last 5 years. This one would work for Voices, Heritage, and Roots. The last 2 books I have to talk about also work for Roots. And first I have You Had Me at Hola by Alexis Daria. This one is a romance. It just came out this year, and it's very sweet. If you couldn't tell, I'm really trying to give as many varied recommendations as I can. This is the very first romance I'm recommending in any of these videos. And if you are someone who needs something a little bit lighter in this time, I love this one. Alexis Daria is a Puerto Rican author, and her main characters are also Puerto Rican, and the woman specifically is Puerto Rican and Filipino. This is about a telenovela star and a soap opera star who get together on set of a new Netflix-like show. And I really love just the family dynamics. I love the relationships in here. If you're in the mood for romance for our readathon, or you just want something to pick you up, please read this. My final recommendation today is Nightlights by Lorena Alvarez Gomez, who is a Colombian illustrator and author. This is a very short graphic novel, almost bordering on being a picture book, that has some of the most stunning, like, 2-page spreads I've ever seen. This is a really sweet and gentle story about creativity and artistic expression, and it is clearly just gorgeous. I think about it all the time. I want to buy all of her artwork to just put over my walls. And so this would be another good option if you're looking to mix it up between like novels and other reading. This, please read it. I don't know enough people who have. Just if you love beautiful things, you will love this. And that's it for today's recommendations. We are going to be having more videos come out from Latinx-A-THON, as well as each of my co-hosts is also posting their recommendations today. So please don't forget to check out Yvette, Priscilla, Tosh, Kathleen, and Andrea. The playlist for other recommendations will also be in the description. And then look forward to next week, in which we will be sharing our TBRs. By the time this goes up, our giveaway is also still open. The information for that will be in the description, but if you have any recommendations you want to give, or you want to post your TBR already, you can enter our giveaway. We're going to have 2 winners, one who's domestic, so either the US or Puerto Rico, and someone who is international, and we are going to be giving away a copy of our group book, which this year is By Any Means Necessary by Candice Montgomery. We have other really exciting announcements coming forward to you, including a watch along and a live show and a Q&A. So also be sure to check out our Twitter and Instagram accounts. But I think that's all that you need to know for now. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with another video shortly. Bye.